Well, guys, welcome back to a very special episode of Fast Charging with BnB. I am Brian.
And I am Bear.
He says he is, and I still don't believe it. This is a special episode because Bear is on the run. He's on the lam, as it were, and so we're gonna shoot this bad boy in advance. So
Yeah.
the way it's going to work is, we've got about 40 minutes of content here. And at the end of it, I will continue live. You will see. I'll just jump in. You'll see. And Bear's stream will wind down. So with that said, Bear, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about electric vehicles from all over the world except from the United States.
Yeah.
We want to take a look at the things that we can never get our hands on here in the U.S.
There are so many cool options out there. And a lot of people say, well, we need more competition. But I'm telling you, in other parts of the world, the competition does exist. And we started by trying to do it from memory, and that didn't work out great. So then we went to Wikipedia and found a pretty exhaustive list of various vehicles and went through them. So what do you think we should start with?
Well, let's start at the beginning. Well, I think we're going to probably go in some sort of alphabetical order by types. And the first one might be called Aspark or A-Spark or Aspark.
I'm going with Aspark.
I'm
as
going.
in, you like my car? Park that butt.
That's an Aspark. Yes. I'm going to go with A-Spark. Not for any reason than I just want to go with something different. Otherwise, I would have gone with the butt name. So this is a pretty cool looking car. In full disclosure, I really haven't looked up any of these. Brian and I just had a little problem getting together today and deciding what we're going to do, and I'm leaving tomorrow. So I have no research behind this, but I'm just going to give my ignorant opinion on all of these. But I do like the way this one looks, and it's called the Owl. Is that right?
It is beautiful. So beautiful. And the thing with this one is it says it's in production, or that it should be in production as of like a year or two ago. And maybe it is, and maybe it will be, and maybe it won't. But it will be, if built, the fastest car in the world, which is fantastic. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen.
Oh, and it's a Japanese car. Nice.
Yes.
Was there any
Yeah.
stats? A 0 to 60 in 1.69 seconds.
Yeah.
That's quick.
Yes, if possible. If the traction can actually lock up on that. But we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe it'll happen.
Maybe it will. The one problem I think I would have with this car would be getting in it.
Oh yeah, it's not meant to get in and out. Once you're in, you've got a condition known as ass park.
Yeah.
I think from there we should look at the Pininfarina Battista, another hypercar that says it's in production. It's been test driven by Motor Trend. Beautiful, truly beautiful. Not as extreme as some of the other hypercars, but does it have to be?
No, it's got 1900 horsepower in a quad motor design, which is nice. It's a quad motor, just like the Cybertruck. So I guess these two are competitors, right?
Direct competitors, yes.
Direct competitors. Makes sense to me.
Mhm.
It's a sharp looking car.
Beautiful.
I think it looks nice, and I still think I would have problems crawling in and out of that. But I would do it.
Yes.
And Pininfarina, if I said that right, has been around for a while. Not sure how long, but they've been around. So not a new
So
company.
no, so he started, the original guy started as a designer for Ferrari in the 50s and was created his own company, which his son ran until his death in 2012. I saw a whole documentary about Sergio and some of the neat things he designed. He designed, if you ever saw, there was a concept Mercedes semi truck that had like a tow hitch kind of center mount deal. That was one of his, I believe. Anyway, it's a legendary firm with an amazing pedigree. But again, start selling them, and then we'll talk.
Yes, yes. I still like it though.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. and I admire the boldness, I guess,
Yeah.
the ambition.
And speaking of bold, they've got the Lotus Ouija, is how I'm going to pronounce that.
I think that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Starting at
Yeah,
a
that is
cool 2.3 million estimated.
a swell deal at twice the price.
Yes,
I think
yes.
Lotus learned from their partnership with Tesla, making the original Roadster, that people will buy it, even if it costs more than a Lotus normally would.
Yeah,
And Lotus, again, a serious company.
it definitely looks like another hypercar. Again, they're discriminating against tall people, so I'm out. But
1,970 horsepower. So they're discriminating against all cars, really.
yeah, they are. They're just. I think they're just showing off at this point. It's got
I think
lot of torque. Also, I wonder what the towing capacity of that is.
so. I think you could tow your racing slicks in a little cart.
Yeah. I don't even think you could actually, because I don't know where you're gonna mount that hitch. Just saying.
Oh, you just screw it onto the bumper.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
$2.3 million. I'm not screwing anything onto the bumper.
If you got that kind of money, who cares? Get a new bumper.
Ah, yeah, screw it.
Right, right. Moving on to China,
Ooh,
and what?
ooh.
Oh, you just saw it for the first
Yeah,
time.
I just saw it
Cherry
for the first time.
Q3. Ain't she a beaut?
Ooh,
So in these other sections, we're going to go price lowest to highest, and the Cherry QQ3 is about as cheap as it gets. Now, does this car look like anything to you? Does it remind you of anything?
The Incredibles. Um,
I was gonna say the Chevy Bolt, and they did get sued by Chevy for just stealing the design all around.
yeah. I don't know about that. And I wouldn't even brag about that. You stole our design of the Chevy Bolt. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's uh, so they do have non-electric variants of it, and it is terrible. It
Okay.
is terrible. It is not safe. It is not good, but it is in production and it is on sale around the world in various countries already. Just a handful, I think.
Okay.
But it's
Question. The third picture in has a steering wheel. It's mounted on the right hand side, but when you zoom in on the steering wheel, it says Ford.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Well, I must not be seeing what you see.
Really? Okay.
Not. And I was mistaken. It was the Chevy Spark that they stole.
Well,
One, two. Well, at any rate, but they rebrand them all over the world as different things. I am sure it is pretty traditional, and for $6,400, what do you expect?
um, it almost looks like it's more than one color, but that's probably just the lighting. I can tell you I'd expect a lot more for that.
Oh,
I
third picture. One, two, three. I see.
yeah.
Interesting.
I zoomed in.
Interesting.
It says Ford.
I was looking at a different page. I apologize.
My Cyber Quad for kids probably has bigger tires than that. So that's what I have to say about that. And it might probably be bigger also if you put it next to it.
Bigger brakes too.
Yeah,
Uh
more
huh.
range, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. What's next?
What is next? This is going to be good. I like going into this blind. This is makes it much more
Fun.
interesting. Oh, that's kind of cute.
Isn't it? That's nice.
Yeah,
Uh
it does look small, but it's
yeah.
still kind of cute for despite the size.
Yeah.
So,
And
so who makes this?
JAC Motors. They're already marketed in Uruguay, Brazil, and Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
it does look like at some point somebody chopped the back end off of it. It looks like it should have gone on a little further. I guess I'll
mm,
just be commenting on design
yeah.
uh, issues.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do
Um,
that. But it looks fine. It does, to me, the front end does look like a Ford.
Let me see that
Boy,
front. Oh yeah, it kind of has that. Might be that blue oval in the middle that makes it look like a
it
Ford.
might it might be. It might be, but I'm not sure if you can if you can trademark a blue oval. Oh wait, they haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's literally their trademark. I think also from Jack, we should look at the Refine S4, which does come in a electric variant. And let's see, what's that one run? 18,379. And it looks, I mean, it looks better. It looks
Yeah.
fine.
It looks like a lot of crossover SUVs that you see these days. Um, they all look alike, so I can't really pin down which one it looks like.
Right.
Um, but that doesn't look bad at all. Um,
No, it reminds me of a Ford Escape.
and yeah, and you know what? 221 miles of range on a 55 kilowatt battery. That that's not bad at all.
But that's on the NEDC, or it might even be the WLTP.
Oh,
You're not gonna get that range. But for what did we say it was? The
18,000.
18,000. That's a cheap car. That's a cheap car.
Yeah, I got to turn off notifications. We got too many things popping up here. Yeah.
If I knew they were on, I'd have been messaging you the whole time.
Yeah. Well, still don't have them turned off. Let me see here. We don't need those interruptions. Let's see. Do not disturb. All right. They keep
So
popping
you
up
can
there.
lead right into the next one.
Good. The next one. Oh, and that's another JAC. Are you sure it's not Jack?
We can call it Jack.
I mean, I kind of like Jack because I don't know what the names are, so I don't know.
I'm just waiting to hear you pronounce the model name.
Uh, Jack me. No, I'm sorry. That's an I. Uh, Eva.
No,
Ava. Yeah, Jack Ava.
no. There's one before that. Oh, the Hue. Oh, that's the same one.
Oh,
Right. It's the same one. That's just what they call it when it's electric. Yep. The Aiva.
Eva. All right. Um, all right. I kind of like the SUV style a little bit more. This kind of looks like now I lost. Now the
It's
pictures went small on me.
it's
Okay.
boring. It looks like a rental car.
Yeah, it looks like a Corolla in a way. Well, actually, it looks like a 5 or 10 year old Corolla. I think the Corollas nowadays are more styling than this.
And because it's JAC, I gotta say it again.
Jack.
This looks like a Ford Fusion.
Mhm. I don't think you know what a Ford Fusion looks like.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong car. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong car. Anyway, It's again, it's fine. This
The
one's 20.
the equipment list. Several
Uh-oh.
several airbags.
I mean, do you need more than several? Does it matter how many? I mean, your car's already wrecked.
Uh,
Walk it off.
that's just an awesome description, and not saying like front and side. Just several. You have several airbags. Well, where are they? Well, they're in the trunk. Okay, that's good because that's where I usually put my kids. So good for
Audio
them.
system, etc. It's good. I like it. And this one's 22.7.
22.7.
Yeah, 22,700 and 116 horsepower. Ooh.
Woo!
That will do 0 to 60.
One day.
Yeah, no, I mean eventually. I mean,
Yeah. One day.
again, if we're going to be specific, why don't you ask where the airbags are?
They're in the tires.
They And don't worry, they will pop.
Okay, now here we go. Jack Iava 60. Now this looks like a 2012 Ford Fusion. Just got to nail the year.
I think you don't know what a Ford Fusion looks like.
Well, they're usually not in black, but otherwise it really actually does look like it. The headlights are a little different, but no, it looks. Yeah, that's it. That's a Ford Fusion. It's totally taken from there. So we've got 252 miles of range with a 68 kilowatt battery. So these guys are actually. I know it might be not the same measurements that we're using on the EPA, but that really that's not bad. It's not a bad start, and it's also a
It's a
$25,000 car.
serious car. Yeah. Yeah. And for 25 grand, I mean, let's see if they list the 0 to 60. Doesn't even list it. But this one's going to be a little better. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah,
Um,
150
BYD.
horsepower. I want to
Oh,
see how
what?
many airbags it comes with, but
Oh,
each
several.
one of their pages are set up completely different as far as looking at the specs. And I don't know if we're going to the same page that we're comparing them with, but
We're not.
okay,
Oh, you and I are. But when I put the list together, I didn't use the same site over and over.
okay, yeah. I was wondering
Uh,
why all the descriptions were in different orders.
it is ridiculously challenging to find quality information and reviews on a lot of these cars
It's
in English.
in English, yeah. I can
So
understand
then
that.
you've got BYD,
Okay, BYD. Uh,
serious company,
yeah,
huge battery manufacturer, good with tech, and priced a little higher. The BYD E6 is 40 grand, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of the look of it,
I'm not either. Um,
but
it looks like a couple cars that we have here in the U.S. I can't remember their name because they're not very memorable. And you look at it, you're like, okay. And you know that it was probably bought because of the price or maybe the gas mileage. And it's not something that has a look that's very appealing. So you don't see them a lot, but I just can't think of what it looks like. I bet someone in your chat will say, oh, it looks like this car. Um, I'm not a fan of the looks either.
so from the mirrors back, it reminds me of a Honda Odyssey, but without the sliding doors.
Yeah, yeah,
But it looks very boring.
yeah.
Very
In $40,000, that's where's it being sold at? Is it in China?
China. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think BYD is going to show up in the United States anytime soon?
I do. I do. I've heard someone last week I think it was on our show, was saying that BYD is already selling in Canada, maybe. But I'm not positive. But I do think they will show up at some point. The only question is when.
You know what? Going down further in this article, it gives its measurements in millimeters, which i- isn't there something up from millimeter, or is that the total? That's what you
No,
have to
in Chinese, the translation goes from millimeter to several.
get to several. That's right. So they've got the length in millimeters, which I just find to be a little bit odd. Um, but it says that it's exactly as long and wide as the outgoing Mitsubishi Outlander. And I think that's the car I was trying to think of that it kind of looks like.
Yeah, maybe.
So I wonder
Maybe.
if there was something going on between those two. Because it's interesting that it would get exactly to the millimeter, the exact same size. That is interesting.
Oh boy. So yeah, it. I can see the resemblance.
Okay.
Put in here. Yeah,
Let me.
yeah, but the Outlander just looks better. Hmm. Hmm.
Did you know that Mitsubishi's I used to have a couple. I had an Eclipse. I had an Outlander, but we're talking like a long time ago. And I'm trying to bring up this Mitsubishi Outlander. I want to show my people what it looks like. Um, Mitsubishi's have a higher insurance rate, period, just because of the Mitsubishi brand. At least this was the case, like let's say 15 years ago, maybe longer. Um, because I had an Eclipse, an Outlander, and an Endeavor, and my insurance rates were really high. And I called my insurance company, like, "What's the story with that?" And like Mitsubishi rates are always higher. And I called around, and I asked a couple other people, and they're like, "Yeah, Mitsubishi's cost more." It's like, okay, I don't know why, but I never bought another Mitsubishi after that.
Huh. Huh. All right. Let's see how we're doing. Doing great on time. I mean, not magical, but
I
uh,
can't see my clock. Where'd it go? All right, well,
this next one, I don't think I'm gonna force you through the name of, but it's the Wanshu. Let me find it.
I think that the Q is
Chiantu.
actually the Q is a K sound. So
It's the Chiantu.
why don't you try it with the K sound?
A nice Chianti. No, it's a Chiantu.
Okay.
These again apparently exist. Um, I've I know people have tried to buy them unsuccessfully. And maybe they do exist and maybe they don't. But it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see.
Is that black carbon fiber or is that just a reflection that makes it look like it is?
I believe it's supposed to be carbon fiber, but can't really tell. Can't really tell. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. I wish it was more real.
Yeah. Um, I want to see that steering wheel because it looks like it's out of a Ford Fusion. Oh my God. Don't look at the shifter.
Really?
Nothing.
Hmm.
Do not look at the shifter.
Oh boy, that is. Mm-hmm. That's
I
nice.
I had to move on from that because I was afraid that I'm going to get demonetized for showing that shifter.
That's true. That's true, and a very valid concern.
Just
What else we got?
one more sneak
Moving
peek.
on.
Okay, going off that picture. No, it's still stuck on my screen. Close the window. It's like saying the C word and getting demonetized. Okay, this is India. Oh, we're in India now. The Tata Tigor facelift. That's the facelift.
Yes. Yes.
What do you think it
Well,
looked like
scrolling down,
before?
there's some better looking ones there. 16,800. Boy, that is boring. I've seen bigger wheels on your Cyberquad Junior.
Yes, yes. There's a
Wow.
possibility if we put them next to each other, my Cyberquad Junior might actually be taller than it.
Yeah. 16,800. I don't know, man. I don't think I would want to buy it for that price.
Let's see if it mentions airbags. It does not mention airbags. Now, India has different rules as far as safety goes, so they don't need quite the same thing that we need here in the United States and other countries. So it's hard to say whether or not this has any of the safety equipment that we might see. There's a guy. One of the pictures has a guy driving it, and he just looks. He looks like he's a smaller person, but at the same time, he looks like he's too big for the car.
Did you see the 0 to 60, aka 0 to 100 kilometers?
Yeah. No, I haven't got that.
14.88 seconds. Not
That
bad, my friend.
that
Not
is,
bad.
that is in
That's
like
like
the Dodge
83
Aries
Honda
K.
Accord.
No, I'm thinking Dodge Aries K.
You know what? I think you're right. No, I think even the early 80s Hondas could absolutely beat that 0 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
And the price 16,000. If you're looking to get jealous of other countries' EVs, this ain't it.
Do you think there's guys in India who are like they got this car and they like put a whale tail on the back and maybe a body kit,
Yes. 100%.
just
100%.
knock
Let's
off
see
the
how we do.
exhaust so it sounds loud?
Just put a speaker on the outside. Problem solved.
That's one way to do it.
Okay, so you know what else Tata has that I like better? The
I
Tata Nexon.
okay.
Nexon.
I like that one a lot better also.
Yeah, it's more like $20,000 to $30,000 depending how you equip it, and it's not ugly or terrible. Well, I mean, it might be terrible. I can't speak to that, but yeah,
There's a
range not as good as advertised.
yeah,
That's to be.
and restricted top speed.
Huh?
I wonder what it's
Huh?
restricted to. But
Temporal.
at least it's not a bad looking car. I mean, that's a good place to start.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start. Let's keep moving.
Sure. Oh, have we looked
Yeah.
at this car before?
Nope. So Genesis is Hyundai's premium brand. It's their Lexus.
Or their
So this
Cadillac
is
or their
right.
Acura? Okay.
Right. Exactly right. And so this hasn't come out yet, but it is believed to be imminent. And when it comes to Kia slash Hyundai, I believe them.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what I don't believe though?
that it's going to look like that.
Yeah, it's an artist rendering. It's obviously a drawn picture, and it looks very pretty. No question about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Now that you mention it. Well, then let's skip it and go straight to the next one.
oh
The
wait, I was
the
going to look at the
Genesis,
other photos.
the
Oh,
Genesis G80, which at least is not a rendering, because at least on Wikipedia, that is a real photo, right? Yeah,
that
that was at a car show.
is
Yeah.
it?
Well, it might not be a functional car, but it's at least constructed.
Well, no. I'm when I say is it, I mean is that an artist rendering or is it a
On the
real?
G80, I believe that's actually real. On the Wikipedia pictures, anyway.
Oh, okay. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
the one
Right
on.
on the article, those look. If those aren't renderings, they've been retouched to a degree that it wouldn't matter.
Oh, they got a filter like they use for ugly girls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you
That's
think?
something TikTok should add with how many ugly EVs they make in China.
Yeah, so 87.2 kilowatt battery, so that's pretty decent. Though
Yeah,
surprisingly, it's only 265 miles of range. I would have liked to seen more out of that.
yeah,
And a 0 to 60 of 4.9 seconds. And what was the
yeah,
price on this one? $62,000.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't think that one's gonna fly.
Well, Genesis doesn't have a very large following in the United States.
That's a good point.
I'm not sure how many cars that they sell. Um, a, the inside looks pretty decent.
It's
Um,
yeah. If you want a premium appointment on the interior, it's not a bad way to go. But we should just keep rolling here.
yeah, yeah. You're always pressuring me to. There you go. You stopped me in my tracks again.
Uh-huh. Isn't she pretty? The Opal Rocks E slash Citroen AMI or AMI. Wow. I mean, if you got to go small and weird, might as well make it as weird as you can.
Is
It
there
is.
at least a bigger picture of that? Let me see.
On Wikipedia, there is.
Okay.
I get that link. I don't know if you have it up. But
Well,
boy,
I brought the picture up, and the girl driving the car just does not look happy to be driving that car. She looks pissed.
oh. Oh,
Just
why'd you make me do this?
note to car manufacturers: have your advertising people make sure that the drivers are smiling.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Suicide
Well, this
doors.
was taken in Europe, so it's possible she was the only model at the shoot who could drive.
That, maybe. You notice the suicide doors?
Ah, that is nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Though,
You like the cup holder on the outside? Oh, but what is it? 8 grand? Oh, probably 10-ish in dollars.
yeah, it's not all that expensive.
9,000. Yeah,
What
not
kind
bad.
of
Not bad. Um,
what kind of range?
75 kilometers.
Uh,
That's a neighborhood vehicle.
yeah.
That's a neighborhood vehicle. But it was just so good looking. I had to include it.
Oh yeah, I thought it was more interesting when I zoomed in it and saw the girl just like, oh, I'm gonna kill somebody for this.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, Dacia. I know I've said Dacia the way James May does on Top when he was on Top Gear. I've gotten a lot of heat for it, but it is also known as the Renault City KZE and other things too, including 3 versions of a Dongfang.
What? What?
Dongfang, the motor company. Dongfang Aeolus, Dongfang Fengxing, and
Are,
Dongfang Fengguang.
are you just throwing out provocative words?
If I am, it is because someone vandalized Wikipedia before I could fact check it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Watch your mouth, young man.
yeah, yeah. Um, So it is built on the Renault Nissan platform, which is interesting. And yeah, it's what do we got here? 44 horsepower.
Like my lawnmower.
That is, it's breathtaking in the wrong way. It's breathtaking when you try and pull out in traffic and you realize you may die.
Okay. Yeah. That's a really low number.
And that's 20 grand.
I sold a lawnmower last year that had, I think, 27 horsepower. Not kidding. It was a
Wow.
ride-on mower, but its top speed was probably only about 7 miles per hour. But it had a 27, 26, 27 horsepower motor. I think my tractor has more than this car.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wow.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
But you know
That's
what?
just-
As much as we're knocking all these cars, we have to remember that there is a place for these cars in
right.
cities and people who don't
Right.
need more, like
And people who
like we do.
simply can't handle a $60,000 car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
financially.
And
Yeah.
well, financially. And there are people who don't commute more than 10 miles a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've got some friends that bought a, I think it was a 2015 Ford Focus that was an EV, and it only had 100 miles of range. I didn't even know the car was out until they bought it, and then their son wrecked it within 10 days, totaled it,
Mm.
and it sat in my yard for 3 months before they were able to. They had to donate it off to charity, because you know. But that, and I said, why'd you get a car with so little range? It's like, that's all we need. I'm 5 miles to work, 5 miles back. They had another car, so
Right.
they didn't need anything else. So if they needed to do anything, they had a van, I think, at the time. So they're in another car. So they're like, this was going to be a good car until somebody drove through a light and totaled it.
Mm. Mm.
And then, just to make matters worse, like after they parked it in my yard, uh, we had a big storm and a tree fell on it. It took out every panel that wasn't dented,
Mm.
crushed the roof just a little bit, but it was already totaled. Anyway, um, well, it's not a bad looking car. It's just, and I,
Yeah.
like, we're gonna.
For
I'm
everyone.
making fun of these cars, but I know that there is a place for them. A lot of them.
Yeah. And it says in the article here by Inside EVs, with incentives, it could be as low as 14,000. And so for a lot of buyers, that car absolutely makes sense. And I'm also not knocking it. I am delighted to see as many EVs on the road as there are, and it's only going to accelerate.
Not the
I mean,
car.
not this one; it goes real slow,
Not
but,
the car.
but I
The
mean the other
car's not
one.
going to accelerate at all. Uh,
You know, there's a little van made by Opal that is shared with a bunch of other vehicles too. Let me see if I can see here. It's the Peugeot Rifter and Partner, as well as the Citroen Berlingo, and it's the Opal Combo. And it is a short range electric van for about what, 39 euros or 39, 30,000.
29,000 euros.
So it's 34,000 US. Perfect. Great. Sell them. Get them out. Uh, 275 kilometers of WLTP, so that's about 150 miles, but more realistically, probably 120 miles of range.
That's not too bad with a
It's
50
not bad at
kilowatt
all.
battery. The only problem I would have with that, um, is whether or not that is a loaded van. Just like Rivian's Amazon vans are supposed to go 150 miles, and the Ford e-Transits are supposed to go 150 miles. I'm just wondering if those are tested with load or without, because these are cargo vans,
Yeah.
and it's important to factor in how much weight you can put in there before your battery
Right.
just, you know.
Well, it's 50 kilowatt hour battery, so it's a decent size. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's one where they're probably back ordered like everything else, and you'd probably want to talk to, check out the forums before you buy one to find out what people are actually getting for a range with different loads.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
great. This is a market segment that is just ripe for disruption.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh Opel Corsa. you remember Opal?
I remember the strange looking cars that I used to see when I was growing up.
Yeah. Also called the Voxel Corsa, the Voxel Nova, the Holden Barina. Yeah, nice. It's cute. It's cute.
I,
Um,
I'm trying to get a good picture of it, and most of the pictures here show my grandfather driving the car with the.
and zoomed in to a degree that is just not helpful.
Oh, there's
The
one.
last picture's all right.
Yeah,
It's more exciting than it needs to be. I think it doesn't particularly thrill me, but I think it looks better than average. And what do we got for price there?
it
Um,
31,000 pounds. So
34,000.
31. So where is this available?
Europe. I
Europe.
assume throughout Europe.
No,
Uh,
it's interesting. I noticed that their road test was over 6 months, and they only went 4,600 miles, and that just
hmm.
seems like a short 6 months. But maybe they're just using it for road testing, or maybe they don't want to drive it. But
Well,
it's also Europe, and they're not going to be driving as much as I might be.
and they're since they're using pounds, they tested it in England. Unless they took the ferry or the train, um, that 4,600 miles is a lot of trips back and forth.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, if they're just not driving it that much, and maybe they're testing other cars also. Their 0 to 62 miles per hour is on here, which is
Yep,
an
that's the
interesting
0 to 100 kilometers. Yeah.
number.
What do we got?
7.6. It's not
Fine,
horrible. Not
fine.
horrible.
Yeah, there was a time when fast cars were that slow,
Yeah.
and this is not meant to be a fast car, so I think it's fine. Um, we should probably speed up a little though. Skoda Enyaq IV or 4. I assume that's an IV. Built by the Volkswagen Group.
Oh, is it
So
really?
that's what a slightly different panels on a ID4. I think it's got a great look. It's not too expensive, 39,500 US. I think it looks great. Yeah, yeah. Incredibly convincing alternative to the ID4. That's a weird way to put it.
And this is
And it
made
comes
by Volkswagen?
Yeah, it is on the MEB platform.
So
So if you
so they're putting it
have
up against
confidence that
themselves?
no, this is an article by Top Gear,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's just like Buick to GM or Pontiac to GM.
Yeah, we usually don't see them trying to compete against each other. They go after the other major manufacturers. And you were cutting out there for a minute, so I would appreciate it if you did not lag anymore.
Oh, I'll work on that.
Can you turn that
I'll work
off?
on that.
Can you turn that off?
Yeah.
All right. So
So
next,
again, this is a 39,500 US. Compelling. I like it. I think that'll do well.
uh,
Um,
what do you think about the Citroen EC4?
It's weird. It's weirdly ugly. You know what it kind of reminds me of is the Nissan Rogue, which I also thought was weirdly ugly.
You know what?
Uh,
It reminds me of something else. The back end, the way that the tail end is shaped, it looks like one of the Mercedes. I'm trying to remember which one. You don't see them that often. They're surprisingly expensive. They're like $100,000. They've got an SUV that sits up with the rear end like that.
hmm,
I don't remember which model it is, but it kind of has that look to it.
hmm.
I never see them on the road, and when I would be spending time at a Mercedes dealer for Mercedes business, I would see the cars there. I was like, oh, those are interesting, and then I go over to them and I see that they're $100,000. I'm like, not that interesting.
Not that interesting.
Yeah.
And this is a $40,000 car.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you like the looks, great. It's going to be a fine car. But yeah, uh, it's just nice to see all these alternatives. Let's look at the Opal Mocha.
Coffee?
hmm Weirdly small for how expensive it is. Uh, I guess it's not that small. Um, Priced from, well, this says 30,000 pounds, which I'm showing as 41,000. but that could be a different source I was looking at. Um,
It's not so bad.
it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Trying to look for the numbers on this car.
50 kilowatt battery, so your range is going to be compromised. Top speed of 93, 0 to 62 in 8.7, which is fine. Which is fine. There's and the other thing to remember is a lot of these vehicles we've looked at today are not dedicated EV platforms. Some of these European ones are, but especially the earlier ones, the China and the Indian ones, those are cars that were built as internal combustion in the original design and then kind of retrofitted later in production badly. So that's going to include some problems.
Yeah, the I don't know, on this car, I was just going through the pictures. Did you see the picture of the interior? It has
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, it has a big red border around the dashboard.
Yeah.
Don't
Anything to be different. I mean, you could put pants on your head and run around screaming. That'd be different.
Well, if you could go to 0 to 60 while wearing your pants on the head in like under 5 seconds, I'd be impressed.
Well, with this one, you'd have time to change your whole outfit.
Yeah.
Peugeot 2008, which is made by Stellantis.
Oh God, they put a year on their car, so you would have to say I've got a 2022 Peugeot 2008.
Yeah, that's how you sabotage your own brand.
Yeah, wow. So how old's your car? I'm not sure. I'm really confused. Oh,
So pros, decent real world range, no practicality compromises, and cheaper than rivals. Cons, unexciting to drive. 3-pin cable costs extra, and average infotainment graphics. Hey man, if that's your big con is average infotainment graphics, I think you're doing okay. And I
maybe.
like the look of it.
It doesn't look too bad from just this one picture. I'm not going to click
Right.
on the video.
I'm not going to click on it.
Um, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it's a tiny car, assuming that she's not like 4'11". She doesn't look like she is. So,
Right.
so what kind of range does this thing get back in 2008?
214 miles. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
At
Well, for a Europe,
33,000 pounds.
again, you got to know know your market. And if you're in a market where people don't have to drive 500 miles at a shot, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Cupra Born. Cupra Born, which is another shared vehicle, I think. It's also this, let's see, is it? Oh, it's also made on the Volkswagen MEB platform, which is great that they're getting a lot of use out of that.
It looks like a Ford Fiesta.
That picture definitely does. Boy, it really does.
Or a Pontiac Vibe.
Boy, I can see that too. It's the emblem is not helping on that
No,
front.
it's got the triangle that makes me think of Pontiac.
Yeah, yeah. But there are options out there. The options, they abound. Now into bigger trucks, bigger vans. What do we got here?
Did you just go to the next screen?
I did.
Okay.
I did. The Fiat Ducato, which is also the Citroen C25, the Peugeot J5, the Alfa Romeo AR6, and the Talbot Express. Well, great. I mean, great. And the Opel Movano, and the Voxel Movano, and the Ram Promaster.
I
Wow.
Oh, it's the Ram ProMaster. It actually looks just like it. Does it come with a battery, or is this Trevor Milton going to push us down a hill?
It's got so many names they couldn't fit a battery. Oh,
91 miles of range on their smaller battery.
and that's on the WLTP standard, which is,
and then you put a half a ton worth of cargo in there.
and then you put a half a ton of cargo in it, and you go, just stay on the charger.
Get a really long cable.
Yeah, this would have to be. I don't know who could use this.
Okay, the 47 kilowatt version, WLTP combined, is 78 to 91 miles. It's
Yeah.
even worse than what we first saw.
Well, even the bigger battery at 126 to 148. But again, if somebody's buying this, I'm happy. But boy, if you wanted to buy this and turn it into a camper, I hope you don't like going far.
Yeah, camp at your neighbor's house. Um, well, you're saying anything is a good thing, but this is something where someone with no experience in a business goes, okay, well let's try these out. It could put them off from getting another EV for years. It,
Well, no, it would put them out of business. But I don't think I think enterprise buyers would do their research and know whether or not this works for them. And honestly, if you're a small struggling business, I think you just buy a used gas one.
yeah.
Yeah, we are almost through it, my friend.
Whew, my computer is almost running again because I had so many tabs open.
Honda E. Adorable. I wish they would bring it to the US. 152 horsepower. Probably not bad for something that size. See
That's
if we can find it. For a
that,
curb weight of under 3,400 pounds.
that's like the latest version of the CRX, I think. It's cute.
It's
Um,
adorable. Yeah. Uh,
I do. I just.
I
I. I think it looks like that toy where you pull the string on the back and then the headlights move back and forth.
uh, yeah.
And I'm not saying that's
Uh,
a bad thing either. Um, it, I'm just trying to. I'm looking at this, trying to see if this is a rendering or a real picture, because the back line seems seamless. Is that a two door?
so let me look at the
In
picture. So it is a real car. It looks like it might have I don't know what you call it, but the back door that's a half door that folds the other direction.
suicide door?
Well, kind of like a suicide, but you can't unlatch it independent of the front door.
Okay, yeah.
It is for sale in other markets.
Okay,
Um,
well, it's definitely cute. It's just a big back window for what looks like a door that doesn't open in the back. It looks like the window actually rolls down, which you don't see that often on a two-door car, if it is a two-door car. But interesting,
yeah,
interesting. And what kind of range? 137 miles.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Honda only expects to sell around 1,000 units annually in Japan and another 10,000 in the European market, and it will not be sold in the US.
You see that there's something I don't understand. Scaling up to sell a car like this, and you're only expecting to sell 11,000 of them. How
It's
do
a
you?
compliance car. It's a compliance car. They build it because they got to.
Yeah. Well, why don't they fix that compliance issue instead of
Yeah,
building it
yeah.
for those reasons?
Oh, right down to the end, Nissan Aria. I think they have a lotion for that or a
I
cream.
I was just saying. Sometimes I get a RIA and I take some stomach meds for it, but you kind of beat me to it with the lotion.
It's fine. It's cool. Um, 47,000, fine. Manufacturer estimated range of 300 miles. Great. Nissan will offer a total of 4 versions, meaning they don't. So gotta wait for it to exist to give it a fair shake. But considering the successes they've had with the Nissan Leaf, I believe they can do it.
Well, they do say it's going to be out in the fall, which is they're not giving themselves a lot of time to backpedal. So if they're going to say the fall, they must be pretty far advanced in getting this ready for production. And
Yeah,
they do have a real world price on it, so it doesn't look like it's going to be
yeah,
cheaply made. And
yeah.
where is this? This is going to be in the U.S. this year?
No, nope.
No.
This is only going to be sold in Japan, as far as I know.
Okay,
Let's
well,
see.
in that case, I'm not buying it.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The U.S. launch is planned for the second half. Oh, the second half of last year.
Uh, that's
So
that's a miss.
problematic. But again, it's one of the hottest cars that you can't have. Hmm. hmm.
Yeah,
It was originally unveiled in 2020. So anyway, we'll see. Uh,
or we
but with
won't.
that said, yes. Oh, I was just going to say, we were getting long in the tooth and we got to wind it down. So here's the deal. We're simulcasting on Bear's Workshop and My Tesla Live, the second channel of My Tesla Weekend. And what we're going to have to do here is Bear is actually not live. He is out of town. He is on the lam.
Not dead. I am alive.
He said, again, there's no proof.
At the time of this video being taped, I am alive. I can
no proof.
I can guarantee that.
Derp fake. No, so what's going to happen here is Bear might be in the chat. Who knows? You can check and look, and who knows? He might be. But in either case, he's going to sign off, and then we're going to go straight into my channel right here, right now, where I will address your questions from the chat. But a reminder, you got to subscribe to Bear's Workshop. He's getting up there in subscribers. He's going to catch me, and with your help, he will. And I think that's pretty awesome. Anything you want to say on the way out the door, you got to get back to the shrimp buffet.
Well, thanks for the exit there. I appreciate that. Since we are pre-recording this, just want to let you know, Brian, they did get the Starship on top of the booster.
I did see that.
Okay, you still got to go. And I just went back to it and I put it up on my screen to share that with everything so you guys can figure out when we did record this. But, you know, I want to be a fair guy, and I want you also to subscribe to Brian's channel so that I can't catch him. But make sure you get my channel also.
And we'll put links in the descriptions of both.
Absolutely. And I do need to get back to that buffet. So if you don't mind, I will see you guys later. Hopefully I'll be able to hop in the comments or the chat and say hello to you guys while this is actually being shown live on Brian's channel. So
and if you guys want to see a cool magic trick, watch this in you're gonna get ready. You gotta watch my hair in 3, 2, 1.